And, I even had a couple of friends, that I used to party with and stuff. And hey, now I do hiking with them. I do like healthier activities. They aren't in that lifestyle that I was in. Obviously, I wouldn't be hanging with someone that was into that. But hey, it's cool that we used to do that in the past, like party and stuff. And now we can do some healthy things together. Or I just kind of switch it, see, hey, can you like do the stuff that I'm doing? I don't need to drop to the level I was at before, or just an area that I don't want to go back to. I've already passed that test. I've already moved past that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Like seeing where the people are willing to meet you halfway, you
Or
know?
halfway, yeah. And it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm better and these people are doing good things in their lives. Like I still have a lot of stuff I'm working on, but there are certain things that are deal breakers. There's certain things that like whether it's disrespecting you, whether it's hey, they're maybe in the addiction lifestyle that I was in before I don't want to be in. Like I'm not gonna even be around anyone that's like that, or just someone engaging in a behavior or just a way of thinking or just a lifestyle that like I don't resonate with. That's when I have to take a step back and really think about it and like, what am I gonna do? Like, is this person good for me, my life? Does this person deserve to be in my life? Like, so we just go our own ways? And it can be really hard to cut people off or like never talk to the beginner or block people. I've had to do that, but it's not
Yeah.
easy, man. Like I can latch on to people very like way longer than I need to. Not latch on, but like sometimes I should have cut the person off a long time ago, and like when I finally do, it means I'm way past it. Like mentally, it's like I finally physically did it. It was just like all
Yeah.
the signs were there.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that a lot too in my life, like as I started like moving through my healing journey, right? Like just who can I keep around? And like it takes a while to really like again find safety in your nervous system about like making those changes too, right? And like sometimes you keep them there, but you just don't interact with them until one day finally you feel safe enough to actually like block or delete or whatever, you know? So it's
I get
taking
it. I totally understand. It's the hardest thing for me is to understand this is the way it is, and how do you, especially if it's family or whatever it may be, you have to sort of work it out exactly how you gonna manipulate it. And look, one of the triggers I get is I don't know about you guys, but the worst trigger for me is someone gives you something and then fucking makes you feel guilty about it afterwards.
yeah,
That's
that
not that's not a gift. And then you know what? And the thing is, how I found it too is that um, how I found it is you understand what the hell did you do? Did you
yeah,
really do anything? Did you do really? Did you? You have to. You always look at your own behavior. Don't get me wrong. I always do. That's
yeah,
fine. But let's be honest. If are you thinking like, there's worse people in the world and all this kind of stuff, and you know, are they expressing themselves as to vent to you because you're easy to vent to? That's what pisses me off.
mm. Well, it
And
kind of
anyway, today,
goes a little bit along the lines of like what I said in a post that I made recently. It was like I think I put it up yesterday. It was like allowing yourself to grieve the parts of you that held on for too long, and like let yourself feel sad about that. Like instead of just like judging yourself and being like, oh, you shouldn't have held on so long, you shouldn't have done that, like, and to feel shame around putting yourself in those situations. Like let yourself grieve how long it took to realize that this wasn't good for you and how long it took for you to actually do something about it. If you feel grief around that, or if you feel sad around that, you need to give yourself permission and space and time to actually move through the emotions of like letting that grief go, instead of sitting there shaming yourself for, like I should have done better for myself. Like let yourself feel fucking sad. Like that's a really important part of the process. And like be there for yourself. Like it's like, a, like being there for a child that's like feeling sad about relationships changing and things like that. Like, let yourself feel the feelings and go through the motions of what that release requires, instead of shaming those parts of you that feel upset about it. Like,
yep, I agree with you. It's just, but the thing is also, um, I guess it's a case of how much grieving do we do, and how much do we have to make a conscious choice to move on because we've got shit to do. right? And this is where
Well,
we were learning about choice as well. Now, what I mean is, let me finish on this one. I'll explain it. People holding it, we're going to stop going. We have to basically make a choice to go right. We accept it, and we have to move on, not quickly, but move on as well. So the
yeah,
choice is not to sit in it too long, and
yeah.
that's
Well,
what a lot of us used to do.
yeah, it's like don't let yourself dwell on it, but give yourself the time and space to move through the grief until
That's
it's over.
right. Yeah, yeah. That's
Like,
it. Yeah. So it's
like
just yeah,
don't hold on to it and stay in that space forever, but like let yourself move through the different processes of grief. If you feel angry about it one day, feel angry about it. If you feel sad one day, feel sad about it. If you start to then accept it, let yourself accept it, and like go through the period or the phases of grief in a way that like is actually healthy instead of like sitting and dwelling.
yeah. That's right. And it is a skill to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, oh, I look at the way it is. I still feel drained from what happened yesterday, but I know it's part of the full moon, and it
yeah,
was a lesson for me, and basically to test me of if I'm going to do this motivational coaching or whatever I decide to call it. I can do now with the situation I did yesterday. A lot of answers came up, and I can basically I could take on anything if I could do what I did yesterday and come not go back into old patterns.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so it was a big win, but still it's very draining and just
Yeah.
you
Well,
know
that's the thing.
yeah.
Like, if you're feeling drained from that, like this goes on to what we were saying before you hopped on. If you feel drained from that, like, let yourself rest. Your body did something really big. You created safety in a period where, like, you weren't safe to express that before.
Yeah.
And sometimes like your nervous system needs to recalibrate
Yeah.
to the actions that we take. So
Yes.
if
Mm.
your body is begging you for rest and you feel super drained, give yourself permission to rest. Take a day off, take a couple hours to just sit cozy on the couch and like chill for a little
That's
bit
what I did
until you feel
yesterday.
a
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
energy,
I
right?
just
I
Like
need to get it.
every time we take these big step forward, it's okay to create that safety and like just let yourself rest from that. Let yourself integrate and recalibrate all the newness that you just brought into your nervous system with the
Well, I
action
know
that you
things.
took.
Yeah, I know things are coming for me personally. I don't know about you guys, but this new era that we're going into, I'm not sure. Diana would probably know a little bit more astrologically, but there's a new thing. And what's happening with me at the moment, and this is weird. Here's one for you, ladies and gentlemen. We go into talking predictions and synchronicities and predictions. Things come into your head, not for everything comes in for a reason. Okay, everything
Everything.
comes in. Everything comes in for a reason, but we don't need to know why at the time. I'm getting answers quicker than what I can get, quicker than when I'm getting these messages. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. And yeah, what about you? What do you think about it at this present time? Are you getting future messages and thinking, hang on, what does that mean in the future? Why did I bring that up? Because everything consciously comes into us now because of where we're at ascendingly. We're in our heart chakra. So what I mean by that is those messages that are coming in have relevance to our heart because that's what we're going for at the moment. And it's freaking some of the things have come up and be bloody weird, but everything makes sense if you actually sit back. What do you reckon about that?
Yeah, there's a lot coming in. I even get like visuals of things randomly or maybe not so randomly, but I get visuals, I get messages like some I think just with the veil being thin right now, um you're just you're more open, to and if you're on the path, you're in alignment and you're not getting too distracted out there and you're going within more and you're taking time for yourself and you're taking care of yourself, the message becomes more clear. It's not all this cloudy, like all these things are clouding your I don't want to say your intuition or just like your ability to like receive those downloads. Like I think you're always connected to it, but sometimes it doesn't feel like the connection is strong. When I find myself engaging in any kind of toxic behaviors, whether it's eating unhealthy, whether it's um getting too much into like maybe scrolling too much on TikTok, like on the conspiracy side or something, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or,
exactly.
or
Yeah,
just
that's
anything like that. clouds me a little bit, or if I'm putting things in my body, if you're drinking, if you're anything you're doing that's like kind of clouding you, right? Or that's maybe causing an emotion or draining you emotionally in any kind of way, be people too, like then I'm not getting that message, it's not as clear. But when I release a lot of that stuff, man, my downloads are clear. Like I'm popping out, I'm coming out with new video ideas, I'm doing this, I feel very in alignment, it's all coming through. But sometimes it's almost too much, I have to like ground myself. But I mean, there's connection and everything, and I think you're where I remember what you said in the last podcast, Jay, was you're exactly where you need to be. And it's
Yeah,
also with that too, because you're not meant to know everything right now. We came here
that's
to
right.
get a bunch of shit, right? And you still have karmic lessons
Drudges.
to learn. There's a purpose for it, and I think I want to figure everything out too. I'm like you, Jay. I'm kind of like, I like to figure shit out now. I want to get this done now. I want the instant gratification now, but that's not the way everything works. There's a
I think I
process.
think it, I think it is basically I already know what's going to happen. All right, that sounds pretty arrogant. I already know what the outcome is. I already can see, and this is where the problem was when I was younger because I didn't work on myself because I wasn't connected to me. I was connected to the outside world. Since I've been connecting to myself, I can feel, ladies and gentlemen, feel like when you have that vision and go, okay, I'd like to be there. Hang on, that's coming. But I have to go through the process to get to that. But the
The
process is coming
process, yeah.
quicker. The
Yeah.
process is coming quicker because I am at that point where I understand it. If you get where I'm going,
Yeah.
Gotta flow with
yeah.
it. Allow, flow. Surrender is a big thing. Even when I was
Oh
in
yeah,
yoga class today, I was doing some kind of movements where I forgot, I don't know the name of all of them. I'm still learning more about yoga and stuff, but like some of the stuff I was doing, I kept getting a thing through my head saying, see how this movement is surrendering. You're supposed to surrender. You need to let go of that forceful energy. Sometimes it's stepping more into my feminine energy. It's like surrender to this. Like there's one where you hang like you're a rag doll or something. I was doing like a mindful yoga
yeah.
class,
Bent-legged
and it
barback.
was
That's what I'm
that,
doing
and it
now.
did feel like I was surrendering. I was like, whatever. Or like you're holding a
Doing
position
now.
that's kind of tough. I'm just
Yeah, it's
like
what I'm.
allowing the energy to flow through me, and I kept getting like a vision of like. Well, I also got a vision of the hangman in tarot. See, I begin visions just randomly, and it's always, there's always a message, or like I'll get a flash
That's right.
of
That's where I'm
something.
going. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying to you. That's where I'm going. So I
Like, all right,
mean,
I get it. And like temperance kept coming up. I mess with like sometimes I'll listen to certain tarot readers on YouTube or TikTok. I'm very selective on who I listen to, but it kept coming in temperance on every single reading. And it's like balance, like just yeah, or I guess, or that's what I get out of temperance. I know there's different meanings to it, but it's always the same thing for me. It's like
yeah,
relax,
it's a
release
yeah,
that Aries energy. Aries full moon, it's time to do the opposite of that. Like step into the Libra's opposite Aries. So it's like balance and
Yeah.
flow, not force.
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things. So I mean, what we have to look at and understand is. So I'm just doing some. There we go. Just stretching up.
I saw Jay's foot up in there.
I'm doing table now. I'm doing back now. I'm doing back stretch. That's pretty much it. Pretty much sums it up. I mean, ever since I came back from the trip, I know where I need to be. So we're gonna work
Same
it
with
out.
me. I just got back from my trip, and it's like what you said, Jay, in the last one. Like, I always get different perspectives on life. Like, I always thought I wanted to live on the West Coast and stuff, and I went over there. When I went there, it was cool and everything. I had a good experience, but like, it ain't all what I think it is. Like, the grass isn't always greener, and I think we're always seeking something more than what we are, something more than this. We're always seeking to go to the next reality, to get the next whatever, like to step into our purpose more, to get another source of income, to do this or that. Like, we're rarely ever satisfied just being like in the present moment with all that is right now. It's always like you want something more than what you have, or like it's never enough. I don't know. That's one thing I was noticing that I got from kind of going on the trip that I went to.
Yeah, I just yeah, it's an interesting part of what's happening in the world at the moment. Um, yeah,
Well, people are
I
either
don't know.
doing the work or they aren't. It's usually pretty extreme at this point in the world, like the 3D, 5D
No,
split,
you're not
whatever.
wrong. You're not wrong.
It's like people either really want to do the work and they're really like, hey, they're really self-aware and are putting the effort in. It doesn't mean you're like working hard all the time, but you're being aware and you're making conscious choices to do something different because you're like, that shit's not working, it's not alignment, just what we were talking about in the beginning with Sarah. But then there's some people that are literally, it's like the complete opposite. They don't give a shit. They have no self-awareness and they just kind of go on society's programming and they're going to keep going doing what they're doing until they crash into the wall. But I'm saying the wall, a lot of people are crashing now because that stuff's not in alignment with the shift that our planet is trying to go through, is slowly going through, yeah.
Well, the perspective of this great thing that I'm going to look at, ladies and gentlemen, this is a cheap plug for my new book,
Oh, awesome.
Journey of a Whitefeather.
Congrats, yeah.
Remove the mask, write the story.
Oh,
Different
wow, that's
perspective.
it. Oh, shit.
Sweet.
Wow.
Well, pity the big fella's on. He's the one who told me, write a friggin' book, mate, you bastard. So
I need to write one too. Yeah.
That's the first
Congrats.
the first prototype. That's the first prototype. I'm just
Nice.
fixing it up. But funny when you reflect and read it, what's going on. Like these might not, I read some of the things that I wrote and I'm going, shit. That's where I'm at. Bloody hell. Look, Vancouver.
Nice.
Wow, that's so cool.
Lots of pictures in Vancouver. But read, and this is what you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen. When you start ascending, you have a choice. I know your perspective of anything will change. That's it. And I wrote those things 4 or 5 years ago. Actually, 2021, so 4 years ago, thereabouts. Yeah, over 4 years ago. Okay, during the crap that happened to Pokeroo.
And you can still resonate with that stuff. I've even gone back to some of our older podcasts. Every once in a while, I'll just listen to one of our really old ones just to see. I'm like, oh my gosh, first of all, I look different, I act different, the aura is different, everything about all of us. But then I'll be like, man, I can actually resonate with what I was saying. Then I'm at a different stage. I'm seeing from a different perspective, but that still relates to me. That's part of who I was and the way I was feeling and thinking at the time. But you just see a deeper level sometimes if you look at that stuff like years later. It's like, oh, I get that, but now I'm adding on more perspective and like dimension to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it opens up a new awareness of the same topics and the same energies.
Yeah, I'm just looking through it now and I'm going, wow, and the funny thing,
Sarah,
Jinxie,
yeah,
so cute.
Cat.
He's 5 pounds. Yeah, this is so cute.
He's so cute.
Yeah,
love it. Kevin bit me in the head this morning. I was trying to get ready. I'm glad I have bangs because I got this big Kevin just tried to take a chunk out of my head this morning. We cuddled for an hour and a half, and then I was like, okay, I gotta get up, and I gave him a kiss in the chest, and he just went out and bit me in the head. I was like, oh, okay. He didn't want to get up, so he got mad at me.
Those cats are moody, man. Like, he's a boy cat. I mean, he's 5 pounds. He's not even, what is it? He's a few months now. But I'm integrating him with the dog and stuff, the Shane's dog. So it's it's interesting.
Look, you made the book.
Is that me? I can't really see this. It's a little dark. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's nice.
Me and Willer. Nice. Is that the Coquitlam River behind us? I think it is. Yeah.
Probably. What did I write?
Bloody
river it was. Don't worry. Well, there you go. Just the case. Look, other than having a shameless plug for myself, it's the case of having perspective in what your life's going through right now, and you just like to be. Look, I think the biggest thing I come about with now is I just want peace. Even to a point, right? I'm a collector. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the collectibles I've got, and what can I trade off and get rid of? I've never ever thought like that. I'll trade to get things in full instead of having everything. I don't mind offloading some stuff now to get other stuff in that completes my collection.
Yeah.
Even if it's 2 or 3 things, I'll trade.
Release the old. I mean, so I have stuff even in my closet that I probably need to get rid of that are really attached to my old self. And it'd be like that pair of clothes, that shirt that you can't throw away that you don't even wear anymore. But it's like I can't. It's just like I have too many memories. I'm like, man, but the easier you can let this stuff go, you can bring in new, the new.
Allowing yourself to practice non-attachment and
Yeah.
like let go of the things that are not in line with who you are, where you want to be, where you're going, and like let somebody else feel into that, you know, that item that needs it or that would appreciate it the same way that you used to.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm
and
doing now.
then
So
when you do that, the universe is like, oh, okay, here's something that is in alignment with where you're at now that you can take with you into the future.
and that's where I'm at for Christmas time when I finish what I'm doing during Christmas time. That's my whole thing to absolutely release the old and get rid of stuff. Because there is a move on the thing. And look, I'll be honest with you, with everyone in the world the way it is. A house or an RV. I would love to get an RV. That's what's come into me. I can't believe I'm even looking at it.
RVs are awesome. I've always wanted one of those too.
Yeah.
I might invest in one of those after I move. Yeah. So just looking at all that, just to have peace in my own. I want to breathe my own air and not anyone around me. Let's be honest. That's what I want. Have an
Yeah.
RV to
Well,
do that, so I can take off when I need to. Good. I'll be
that Aries full moon energy is really about like, what is in an alignment? What do you need to let go of? As it always is with a full moon, like what do you need to let go of? Like clean up your house, clean up your space,
Yep.
give away, donate the things that they're not using anymore. And like just allow yourself to make room for the new stuff. If you got relationships in your life that aren't aligning with your energy that you're feeling right now, if you're not being treated the way that you know you deserve to be treated, it's no longer it no longer feels good to pretend and make excuses for those things and like keep letting it happen, right? So just letting
Well, I put
yourself
it
let go of everything, whether it's people, places, things, like just letting go, letting go, letting go, like
so
let yourself.
even putting it
Yeah.
this way, right? The first stage for me in that case was just to put when I came back from overseas, I wanted to downgrade. Now, I just basically made a thing. I don't have to get rid of it, but what I can do is put it in a box, right? And
Mhm.
put it in. I know everything in my garage is organized. So that's basically where I'm at. I'm putting everything away that I'm not using. Now, I'm not going to go and throw it away because I might. Like the collectibles and stuff. I'll keep them. But the thing is, you're allowing yourself for new stuff, even though you've still got your other stuff. That's an easy way to say, look, I don't really want to get rid of it, but I'll put it away. And if in a couple of years' time or whatever it may be, if I want to get rid of it, I can get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's a good start. And then I think that's a good start for people to go, oh, and then you go, and then once it's away, when I used it this way, right? I've got all my books that I need for what I'm doing, right? And ones that mean things to me. The other ones I've just put in like biographies I put in, but you have to work out a way. Is it sitting there looking good? Reason for it. Like I put
Yeah.
a couple of my kiss dolls away, right? Just it's not going. I'm not getting rid of them, but downgrade it to a point where I go, rightio, what do I want to look at? Bring them out later. Well, I might stick everything up on the wall. But at this present time, because I'm starting to shift energy and move, we have to downgrade so we can say, right, this is what we're going to have in the next house, if that makes any sense. So I'm trying to downgrade it as much as I can, and that's the first step of letting go. People go, I have to throw everything out. Well, if you don't want to throw it out, all I say, get a box, put it in the box, and just leave it there, and see what it means to you. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
If you've got the space to do it, I've got the space to do it downstairs. I've got in the garage. I just basically put them in boxes, and it's actually and there's not much. It doesn't take much room because you're actually paying for you. It's like getting a storage box. Just
Yeah.
put the store. Just you don't need to do those things. So yeah, there you go.
Little
That's how
changes
I.
sometimes. It's just like what we talked about with Sarah. Even that, like, like getting rid of stuff. Sometimes that can be overwhelming. Not even just the hoarders, like just when you're letting go of so many things that used to be attached to your old self. Like
That's
even
right.
Shane, like my boyfriend, for those who don't know, when he moved here, he moved here to be with me, and he let go of so much of his stuff when he moved. He actually almost had like a nervous breakdown because he was trying to, he moved all the way, halfway across the country. So even him, it
That's
was
a
like it was a
huge move.
lot for him,
That's a
huh?
huge move. That's a
Yeah, he
huge
let
move.
go of
People
like
have,
most of his stuff, but it was that area where he lived. It was attached to a different, old self that he didn't want to, be attached to, and also old relationship. There's a lot he had, where he was at, and then he came here, and you could tell he was almost in shock by releasing all those things because he only came here with a couple suitcases. He had a whole apartment, so he let so much stuff go. And I said, hey, that's great. A lot of people can't do that, but even that, and sometimes a little bit at a time. I mean, obviously, we're in a condition where you're trying to move out by a certain time and everything. But in general, like even me, if I get rid of too much of my stuff, not to say we're too attached to material things, sometimes we are, but it's like, oh my
no,
gosh, I feel like I
we're
let,
allowed to be.
yeah,
We're
you're
allowed
like,
to
I
be.
felt like an old part of myself is gone, is like gone now, but
We're
that's
allowed to be
good. But
like that,
just,
though.
yeah,
We're allowed to be like that.
yeah,
We've earned our stuff. This is the thing where this
Well, it's
fucking
part of
world's
human
put us
behavior
into.
to create sentimental attachment and like to create
Nothing wrong
attachments
with
with.
that. We
yeah,
earned it. This is what makes us happy. I mean, this is the bullshit that's gone through in this fucking world, right? Now I'm going to start going off about it. What's wrong with having something that you love? There's nothing wrong. Everyone goes, "Oh, you're materialistic." How the fuck am I materialistic? I enjoy something. If I own something and I enjoy it, I've gone
yeah,
to work. I've enjoyed and I enjoy what I enjoy. This is what keeps my vibration up. What the fuck's wrong with that? It's when it goes to when it loses the balance of it starts to obsess to you, becomes an obsession or part of your life which is affecting you. That's a different story. Or you
Yeah,
have, you know, feelings is this makes me. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make me. I'd spew if I lost it. It doesn't
yeah,
make me. That's a different story. Totally. See, there's a different perspective on things.
yeah,
And even when I went overseas, I lived off 2 bags. All I
yeah,
think the only thing I missed out was my guitar. That's it. That's all
yeah.
I needed.
Well, there was a period of time a couple years ago when I was living with my friends Sarah and Danielle. All of my stuff was still with Willer, like in the house that we were sharing together. And like I didn't even have my own furniture. Like the only thing I brought with me was like a little shelf to put in the corner of my room so I could put like a couple of my stones and my cards and things that I use like for clients and stuff like that. And then like maybe two or three sentimental things and like a little lamp and like my salt lamp. But other than that, like I didn't have anything there except for like two drawers full of clothing. And like at my house, I've got like two dressers full of clothing, plus on the drawers under my bed, plus a walk-in closet. But like I lived off of two drawers full of clothing and like a small shelf worth of my stuff. And like I've actually found like I didn't actually miss any of my stuff. I felt
yeah,
very comfortable with like letting it go and like living in that way where it was like
Excuse me.
you know.
Yeah, but this is the whole point of it. Like, there's nothing wrong when people go, "Oh, you hang on," right? First part of it is, being a collector and what I've done is I want to live now. I want to live minimal. So what I do is I got the opportunity to go and get some boxes and just put the stuff in the boxes, and then we work it out from there. That's the next stage. So that's fine. So that's how, and then you sort of just live and you live minimal. But look, I've got instead of WWF magazines, I've nearly got 30 years of it. Hang on. 40 years. I'm missing 13. I'm missing 13 books. Whole set. Over 40 years. So I'm not getting rid of that. You're a fucking idiot if I go, oh, you got to throw that out. That's worth something,
Yeah,
Or worth a crib. Something. They go, worth to who? I go, I come and think about it. People are after it.
yeah,
If a collector came out to it, they'd want it, So you
yeah,
got it. That's what I'm gonna do over the holidays. Sit there and go and assess everything I've got, and then go right. What do I want? What I want to get rid of? Is it worth getting rid of, and all those kind of things. Like as you said, Sarah, you'd understand that.
yeah. Well, it's also too like being a witness to the part of ourselves that held on to things out of a scarcity mindset.
yeah,
And like
Yes,
those
yes,
things that we're still holding on to, even though we're not necessarily in that mindset anymore. But it's that like when you look at it, it's like, well, that's worth something. but worth something to who? And like, are you comfortable with letting go of that now with the value that it's like labeled at now? Or is it just worth something to you because you grabbed it in scarcity? I only need 13 of these left to make up the whole collection.
Yep.
Would your life feel any different if you didn't have that collection? You know, how often do you look at those things in your collection and really enjoy them? Or do you just have them to have them because it's worth something to somebody? You know what I
Well,
mean? So it's like
yeah.
looking at it
Well,
from that point of view as well, right? Like, and not to shame a collector, I'm a collector myself, but it's like these are questions that I've asked myself. It's like, worth something to who though? And then like you look on eBay and you see like, what is this actually selling for? Am I creating a value of this thing in my head that is beyond what it actually is?
oh, well, 40 years of magazines, they're worth something. I love wrestling, so that's the way I look at it. But in what you're saying is, I've got, say, a couple of Thor figures and all these things I've hung on for 20 or 30 years. There's where you're at. Exactly what you're saying and exactly what I'm going to do. I'll probably get rid of half those boxes, right? I'll
Yeah.
trade them off or trade them for something that I want,
Yeah.
sell them off. You know, I don't care. I've got stuff there I want to get rid of. You know, I might go one of the swap meets and have a stall there and just go, right. Now I'm like, I'm not really looking to make shitloads of money, you know. If it goes to the right person, it goes to the right person.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, there's nothing wrong with having things. Like I've got rid of most of my, like as I said, I got rid of most of my, a lot of my books and shit. I just got rid of a lot of shit. But what I've done is I go, right, make a rash decision. Stuff that I'm being a collector, you put it in there, go, right, okay, let's have a look through what's in here. Okay. Yeah, like I've got these calendars. They're the ones that are going to go. They're going to go.
Yeah.
They're going to go. I don't give a shit. They're going to go. Right.
Yeah.
And how I do it is a different story. Right. But definitely at the end of the day, too, and calling devil's advocate on what you said is don't be an idiot and just don't need it anymore. Nothing wrong with looking up what the value is.
Yeah.
If you
Well, it
do want to
depends.
get rid
But
of
if
it,
it's a collector, like if you have a lot of these things, you can either donate it to someone who needs it. But if it's not something that's a necessity item, it's like a magazine from 20 years ago, an action figure, then yeah, by all means, check out the value and see if you can sell it to someone who would really want to look at it every day and really would want to like have that in their collection. That is a value. Maybe they're missing that doll in their collection to create the full collection. You know what I mean? Maybe they need that thing to round out their collection, and you know you don't need it anymore. So find out what the value is and sell it to someone who's really going to appreciate it.
and
You know,
that's
you don't have
the
to just
way.
let things go, throw them in the garbage, or donate them. Like if
No,
always check to see what the value is out there, what people are willing to pay for it, and you might be able to get yourself a little bit of money, get yourself out of debt, get some savings behind you.
yeah,
You know?
this is how it is. You got to sort of, and that's with anything to let go. But at the same time, don't just let go because everyone's going, oh, you got to let go and have nothing. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. Have things to enjoy. Make it part of yourself. Maybe live minimal if that's what you want to do. But then you have to go with what your heart's saying. And then my heart's saying I have to live at a minimal thing. Enjoy don't give away what you've given, but you have like a room full of good stuff, one room or whatever, for example, and just live minimal. So as I said to you, going through what I've got in my boxes and I've got rid of a lot of shit.
Well,
But
that's the other
it's just
side of
what,
it too. Like sometimes people go through these periods of like, I just want to get rid of everything. And maybe it is worth something, but maybe they don't want to go through the hassle. They just want to be
that's
free
right.
of the thing. So by all means, donate that if that's where you're at. That might be the fucking treasure in the rough or the diamond in the rough going to the thrift store for somebody that's like, oh,
I'd rather trade. I'd
I
rather
can't
trade to
I
be.
can't believe I found this at the thrift store. This is amazing. And it'll make somebody else's day. Because there's that side of it too,
Yeah,
right? Like
that's
if you're
exactly
just
right.
done, if you're done, you don't have the energy for it, you just want to let go and be free of that, that's okay too. You don't need to sit there and fucking spend all the time finding the value, trying to create an eBay page, trying to sell it to somebody who's going to value
Yeah,
it.
that's exactly right.
If you're
Yeah.
done, let yourself be done.
I'd rather go to
And
I'd
then
rather go
that
to a
will
market.
be the aha moment to somebody who's looking for that thing who comes across it in the thrift store.
This is
And
the
like
point
what
with
we were
everything
talking
you're
about
doing.
before, everything happens for a reason. If you're in that place and you drop it off at the thrift store, you might be making somebody's absolute day. You might make their year or their life coming across that thing that you just easily let go of because you were done with it.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like that
Exactly.
might be that aha moment for somebody else that really needed that moment, you know?
Well, put it this way:
So
before I came back, this is the whole point. When I came back, I never would have thought of parting with anything, but going away and actually recalibrating where I am in life and what I'm doing. I still want stuff, but I'll have what I love, and that's it. Because you still
yeah.
want to wake up in the morning and go, oh, you want to have something that. I guess it's not about what you love; it's part of your life that you've grown up with. You've grown in this life, and this is what you've got to show about. This is what you're about. This is people look at something that you go, oh, you're into, say spirituality, and you're into WWE, and you're into music, and you're into this part. It's not like you've got everything. It's just like a clusterfuck of everything, unless you've got your own shop, it's a different story. But so letting go and letting the new in. And as I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to get rid of it, get a box and box it, and then come back to it, because then when it's out of sight, out of mind. As I said, I'll never get rid of the Kiss dolls because they're worth a fortune. And the other thing is, I've got a kid, so that then she can sell it, all right, in the future. It's like we've got stuff there that's worth. I know for a fact they're worth a fair frigging bit. But at the same time, you minimise what you got, and you look and go, okay, this is this is what I got here, and this is what I can do. So it's just creating a new space and a new person. I guess that's all I can say. On that note, sorry, ladies, I'm gonna have to nick off because I have to go to
Yeah, I
work.
gotta get
But
going too. I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
oh, okay,
Thanks for
no
getting
worries.
on, guys. Yeah, someone
Oh
want to
no,
do
so
the
I
outro?
apologize I couldn't get on any earlier. But
That's all
ladies
good.
and gentlemen, this has been Life Theories with me doing yoga, trying to get myself going as well. Here we go. But we got myself, Journey of a Whitefeather, shameless plug. Let's get the book out. There's a shameless plug. It's coming out very, very soon. And here you go, another shameless plug. Here's some cards for you. There you go. We'll get all them sorted. I'm on Journey of a Whitefeather, Words of the Warrior on TikTok. Have a lot of fun on that with my messages about being a great person and being a better person. We've got Sarah, big Sarah, small soul of big soul healing. I've forgotten
Damn,
about
yeah.
that.
Big soul healing.
Big soul healing. What a lovely thing is. Yeah, I'm pretty funny in the mornings. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm in the wrong time zone, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. I won't get on my high horse. Anyway, big soul healing over there in the beautiful Vancouver, Canada. And also we've got Trailblazer of the Universe, Green Lantern, Stargirl, or whatever else you want to call her, over in Boston, Massachusetts, or wherever the hell she's living.
Virginia, man.
Virginia. She's never been in
I
Boston.
don't have a Boston
Wherever.
accent. I actually do want to go visit there, but
I don't think Diana's ever lived in Boston.
those people are crazy. I work
Well,
with some customers that are in Boston, and some of our clients. Yeah, they're a little out there.
we got her where she lives in the US anyway, and she's always on TikTok and doing a wonderful job spreading the good word. And we've also our man over in England, the Seaman, the master of seamen. Where is he? Batman, Mr. Cortez Medford, the master of seamen. Everything seaman you can talk to him about. The Seaman, he's over there. And also big shout out to our Heather Locklear, as we call her, him, Solomon King, who comes in as a special guest. If you know the reference from Melrose Place, she always used to be a special guest. He's over there in the beautiful Houston, Texas, and you can get on all of us on TikTok, Facebook, and just look us up. And that's enough from me. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Diana.
All right, guys.
Take
I guess
care.
we're signing off. Life Theories. Make sure to give us a follow, subscribe, like, comment, share from wherever you're listening from. Have a good day. Stay up, and namaste.
Take care.
Yeah.